Erev Tov Rabotai, we're continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Maaser Sheni. We're up to Perek Bet Mishnah Vav. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'in Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Aranbai ben Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov Menuchatam Began Eden. Amen. Today's Mishnah is going to discuss another case where Maaser Sheni and Chulin became mixed together. The Mishnah says Sela Shel Maaser Sheni v'Shel Chulin Shenitarvu. If a silver sela of Maaser Sheni and a silver sela of Chulin became mixed up, the owner can do the following. And before we begin, the Rav explains that if the owner wants, he can simply treat both coins as Maaser Sheni and spend both on food in Yerushalayim. But the Mishnah is assuming that he wants to spend some of the money outside of Yerushalayim, and therefore it gives a method by which he can resolve which coin is Maaser Sheni. So the Mishnah says, Mevi b'sela ma'ot. He brings a sela's worth of copper coins. Ve'omer sela shel Maaser Sheni b'chol makom shi mechurelet ala ma'ot ha'elu. And he says, the sela of Maaser Sheni, wherever it is, meaning whichever coin it is, should have its sanctity transferred to these copper coins. With this, the Mefarshim explain, the copper coins take on the Maaser Sheni sanctity, and both sela coins become chulin. Uboreret hayafeh shebahen. He then chooses the nicer of the sela coins, umichalan alea, and he transfers the sanctity from the copper coins to the nicer sela. And the Mefarshim explain, as coins were used, they became rubbed out and they lost some of their silver, and the nicer coins would be the ones that have more silver content. Now the Mefarshim explain, really the owner could have accomplished the same thing by taking the nicer sela and saying, if this sela is Maaser Sheni, then all is well. If not, let the sanctity from the other sela be transferred to this one. But the Chachamim did not allow a person to do this because they were afraid that he would forget to say the declaration, pick up one of the coins and treat it as Maaser Sheni, when in fact the other coin is really Maaser Sheni. Therefore the Chachamim ruled that this person must first transfer the Maaser Sheni to copper coins and only then to the nicer silver coins. The fact that he's obligated to do this makes a more complicated transfer, and that will remind him to transfer the sanctity by means of the declaration. Now, Mishnah now explains why he has to transfer the sanctity back to the silver coin and he cannot leave it on the copper coins. He must transfer the sanctity back to a silver coin because the Chachamim said, Mechalelin kesef al nechoshed midochak. We may transfer sanctity from silver coins to copper coins only when we are forced to do so, like in this case, when there is no other way to separate the Maaser Sheni from the Chulin, but not otherwise, because it's degrading to Maaser Sheni to transfer its sanctity from silver to the less valuable copper. Now the Mishnah is referring to making such an exchange outside of Yerushalayim, but once a person brings his Maaser Sheni funds into Yerushalayim, he may exchange the larger silver coins for smaller ones in order to make smaller purchases. But the Mishnah says, "Velo she'itkayem ken," but even when a person is forced to transfer the silver to copper, it should not stay that way. Ele chozer u'mechalam ala kesef. Rather, he must transfer the sanctity from the copper coins, back onto the silver. And that is in Abotai Mishnah Vav. Mishnah Zayin now continues based off the discussion we just had, transferring Maaser Sheni sanctity from silver to copper. This Mishnah is going to discuss a person who transferred his Maaser Sheni onto silver coins and now wishes to transfer the sanctity onto gold coins, so that he has to carry less when he goes into Yerushalayim. Bet Shammai say, Lo yaseh adam etzla'av dinirei zahav. A person may not exchange his silver sela coins of Maaser Sheni for gold dinars, meaning if his Maaser Sheni was silver coins, he may not transfer its sanctity onto gold ones, because if a person were allowed to do so, he might delay going to Yerushalayim until he has enough Maaser Sheni to fill a gold coin. And the Mefarshim explain, if a person has his Maaser Sheni in silver coins, he might wait until he has enough for a full gold coin before he brings it to Yerushalayim. So if a festival arrives before he has that amount, he might simply stay home, thereby failing in his obligation to visit Yerushalayim for the festival, Aliyat Laregel. Because we know Sefer Dvarim tells us, chapter 16, Pasuk 16, that every Jewish adult male is obligated to travel to Yerushalayim for each of the three festivals, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. So to prevent this person avoiding from going to Yerushalayim, Bet Shammai ruled that a person may never transfer his Maaser Sheni from silver to gold coins, ubet Hillel matirin, but bet Hillel permit transferring Maaser Sheni from silver to gold coins, because bet Hillel hold that a person would not ignore his obligation to come to Yerushalayim Aliyah Regel just because he doesn't yet have enough Maaser Sheni for a gold coin. Amar Rabbi Akiva said, Ani asiti leRabban Gamliel uLRabbi Yoshua et kaspan dinrei zahav. I personally changed the silver Maaser Sheni coins of Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Yoshua for gold dinars, as per the opinion of Bet Hillel. And that is in Rabotai today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.